Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is November 14th, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery. You can see our cutoff low off the coastline here. We've also got lightning overlaid on the infrared satellite, and you can see those lightning flashes going on towards the center of the storm. You can also see some lightning in the band to the south of California as we speak. This is going to be with us for the next few days as well, continuing to spread precipitation back over the region before the system kicks through as we go through the weekends. We'll look at the most recent model runs and try to nail down some of these precipitation amounts, some of the timing here, and what kind of snow we're going to get across the higher terrain. And you guys make this channel possible. We're up over 11,000 subscribers now, so keep on coming back to view and clicking like and subscribing if you haven't already. Again, much thanks to everybody out there. Taking a look at probability precipitation here, National Weather Service Bay Area. You can see San Francisco and San Jose in here, Santa Cruz mixed in. You got Vermont. And you've got King City out there, and you can kind of see as we go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we have chances of precipitation each and every day coming up here. We're going to have highly variable amounts as we have some thunderstorm activity possible as well. So we're not going to be looking at widespread heavy rainfall, but some places could be getting some pretty intense precipitation at times. We'll take a look at that in the model runs here in a moment. Looking at Los Angeles, California, wind advisory out right now for some southeast winds across the higher terrain, and this could be expanded over the next few days as well, as those gusty winds are kind of coming up the coastline as the system spins, and I'll show you that in a moment. But you can see this is the wind advisory itself, gust to 45, isolated gust to 55 on some of the favored mountain peaks, and you can see it's a Santa Barbara County interior mountains, southern Ventura County mountains, and northern Ventura County mountains. This goes all the way through Wednesday night. Now, taking a look at the NAM3 cam, we're looking at 80 meter wind speed. Here's the state of California. You can clearly see the strongest winds right off the coastline here, but it will include some of the coastal area here over the next few days. You can kind of see we do peak with some of these winds across some of the higher elevations, and that's why that wind advisory is out all the way in through tomorrow. And you can kind of see these clipping the coastal areas, some of the higher terrain and the hills of the coastal areas could get pretty darn right breezy as we go through Wednesday afternoon also. And we're going to have additional rounds of this as the low pressure center is not going anywhere quick and spinning off the coastline. We could pick the winds back up again here as we go through Friday and Saturday also. Now, looking at precipitation amounts for some of the desert areas in Arizona, this is Wednesday night through Thursday morning on the left, Friday afternoon through Saturday morning here on the right. And you can see you're going to get some rain potentially all the way in through Arizona. A little bit better chances the further you go west. And if you want a nice affordable home weather station, click on that link down below. This thing has a nice lightning detection system with it. Great smartphone app also, highly recommended. Now, taking a look at the European, this is last night's run, lightning flash density. I want to show you that low pressure just spinning off our coastline there, and it was showing that lightning activity this morning and some off to the south, doing pretty well so far. And you can see as we go on in towards Wednesday, you can see some of this thunderstorm activity moving up across Southern California right off the coastline here by Wednesday afternoon. Desert areas, can't rule out a thunderstorm, some of the central coast, and then we're going to continue to do this as we move through the week. As we go on into Thursday, you can see it approaching the Bay Area and some of the central coast. Also, the valley areas might get a thunderstorm or two as well. And as we go on in through Friday, another round of thunderstorms potentially in through Friday night, and then again Saturday as the system starts to kick through the area here. So you can see it's going to be some active weather here. There's been a lot of chatter about this storm, not being what it was forecast to be. But for some people, it's going to be pretty interesting here, and some people could be getting heavy precipitation amounts with some of that thunderstorm activity over the next few days. Now, what's going on at 18,000 feet, 500 millibars? You can see this is temperature. So you can see our cutoff low out here. And what do we mean by cutoff? Well, you can kind of see how this is kind of being dropped out over the Pacific Ocean here. And you can see the colder air kind of moving from west to east to the north of it here. And that cold air, that's what we call a cutoff low. It just kind of spinning there. It's just kind of out in a void there, and it just spins by itself. And then, like an old friend, this next system comes and says, hey, let me give you a push. And it kicks that cold air through. And that's when that system will be kicking through California on the day and evening Saturday before we build a little bit of ridging here. And then some colder air arrives in the extended forecast, and we'll worry about that later. Taking a look at the European as of last night, total precipitation in inches. And you can see as we go through the day and tonight, And on in through tomorrow, look at some of these precipitation totals really start to get going across Southern California on last night's European model. And then, of course, we've got multiple rounds coming through here. And don't sleep on this storm because there's some interesting totals showing up across, especially the higher terrain, Southern California, even the coastal areas, coastal range. I mean, you're talking about some places getting up over 2-3 inches. Sierra Nevada looks like it's, been uptrending here on the latest European model also. Now the GFS is not as wet, but you'll see that it does bring those thunderstorm chances across the areas we go through Wednesday, and it does have multiple rounds of precipitation, and it's still showing decent amounts for some areas here, the coastal range and some of the Sierra Nevada kind of targeting there as well. So it does show some heavy precipitation for some areas, but it's going to be of the hit and miss variety here. As you can see, it shows very little for Southern California, which the European has much higher totals. So something we still need to work out here over the next couple of days. Looking at lightning flash density, I want to show you this one on the most recent European, the 06Z. And if I put this into motion, you'll see some of this activity creep towards Southern California here as we go through the day tomorrow. Maybe some of the desert areas as well. Kind of bullseyes near the San Diego metro, but does include the Los Angeles metro as well. And again, some of the coastal range up towards the Bay Area could see a thunderstorm as we go through Wednesday night. And then Thursday, another round of potential thunderstorms again across the area. And as we go through Friday, maybe some more lightning for the coastal regions here as well. You guys get the picture. And this goes out only 90 hours on the 06Z. So probably additional thunderstorm chances there on in through Saturday. Now looking at the European, last night's run, you can see Los Angeles, kind of the initial bands in the system. And then as the system kicks through, showing some pretty good amounts. The control run actually had up over an inch in a 24-hour period as we go through this weekend. Looking at San Francisco, kind of a muddled picture here, but it does show the precipitation chances all the way on through this weekend. And some of the ensemble runs definitely heavier than others. Looking at Mammoth, check it out. It's kind of uptrended here as we go through the weekend as well. Some pretty nice snowfall totals showing up there and kind of a 1-2 punch with some of the initial bands rolling through. And then as the system kicks through as we go through this weekend, taking a look at Lake Tahoe. And again, that's as the system moves across the state here as we go through this weekend, some good amounts, some nice heavy amounts showing up there. So we'll watch this over the next few days. The initial rounds, maybe a few inches there. Here we go at the European total snow, 10-to-1 ratio. This kind of gives us a wider view of things here, and you can see that initial band move through as we go through Thursday afternoon shown there. And then as the system kicks through, it brings some additional precipitation in the form of snow for some of the higher terrain, and the snow levels should be mainly 7,000 feet and above with this storm system. This is day 1 through 3 overall winter storm impacts. We got a little bit of an uptrend here for some minor impacts across the higher terrain there. So watch out if you're in the backcountry for that. This is the HER 3KM. This is also showing lightning flash density potential. And I want to show you this. This goes out 48 hours. Let's see if it has agreement with the European. You can see some of that activity moving towards Southern California as we go through the day Wednesday. Can't rule out a thunderstorm across the desert areas. Some of the Sierra Nevada, you can see it approaching the coastal range here as we go through Wednesday afternoon also and moving across the state. And again, there'll be multiple rounds of that potentially on in through the weekend. Now looking at the thunderstorm outlook in the SPC, let's see if we're out forecasting the SPC because they do not show that thunderstorm chance yet for Wednesday morning into Thursday morning. They do kind of show a piecemeal little chance here off the coastline Thursday morning there, but I have a feeling they'll probably upgrade these, especially if the European and the HER keep showing that thunderstorm potential. Now this is looking at the HER 3KM. This goes out 48 hours, and this is composite reflectivity. This is what the Doppler radar may look like as we're going through the morning hours. You can see this band kind of holding right off the coastline there. But then tomorrow we start to bring some of these heavier showers back across the area. And look at the Bay Area, the Central Coast, some of the higher terrain, the valley areas, some thunderstorm chances all the way in through tomorrow night. So yeah, could be some interesting weather out there. And again, some hit and miss nature to this precipitation, and the totals will reflect that, no doubt, as we go through the end of the week. Taking a look at the atmospheric river potential with this, it's not really a classic atmospheric river here. Just you can see it maybe moderate weak for a couple areas out there, but not really a classic atmospheric river setup here. Just wanted to show you that graph. Now looking at 7-day precipitation according to Pivotal Weather, and you can see some pretty good amounts here, but I don't think it's going to be this uniform. You're definitely going to have some areas with heavier amounts and some areas with lighter amounts, as you can see, kind of favoring the coastal range and some of the Sierra Nevada getting in the heavier amounts. Also, looking towards Southern California, you can kind of see it. There's some heavier amounts showing up in there, so don't sleep on this storm. Yeah, and the desert areas, you still could get a thunderstorm here, but not a lot of precipitation showing up. And this is Las Vegas. Some light precipitation is possible, but not a washout by any means. And here's for Arizona. Look at Prescott towards 0.2 of an inch. But yeah, anyway, nice storm system out here, and it will no doubt bring some interesting weather for some areas across California. I know how crazy people can get when you get thunderstorm activity, especially across some of the Southern California coastal areas and the Bay Area down there. It can be quite fun. So anyway, this will be spinning off the coastline for a few days. It'll kick through this weekend here, and hopefully we can get some decent snowfall above the 7,000 foot line there for the Sierra Nevada, and then we can watch that new snow on the GOES 18 satellite imagery. But anyway, hope you guys are enjoying these videos. We'll do this again tomorrow. We'll check everything out and go through these runs again, and I will talk to you guys then.